a brand has weathered some intense years, and having seen just little updates for as far back as decade, the Navigator was particularly past due for an upgrade. Today, there's new life and vitality in Ford's extravagance division, and following a year ago's all-new, and strongly nice-looking, Continental, this new 2018 Navigator is a cutting-edge and high-mold offering set to take piece of the overall industry from the opposition. 2 weeks prior in Detroit, the Navigator was perceived as the 2018 North American Truck of the Year, a respect that talks to its great plan and designing, as well as the way that this apparatus remains a legitimate truck, not only a macho minivan or station wagon with climbing boots. As it has dependably been, the new Navigator shares the greater part of its heart, soul, and bones with the Ford Expedition. Using the turbocharged 3.5-liter EcoBoost V6 imparted to the savage Ford Raptor pickup truck, the Navigator has 450 drive and 510 pound-feet of torque to spur it. In its class, just the Range Rover with its supercharged V8 conveys more drive, yet even it misses the mark on torque. In addition, contingent upon trim level, the new Navigator can say something as much as 200 pounds, not as much as a year ago's model. Being both more slender and more grounded implies the new Navigator pulls its forcing mass around effortlessly. Increasing speed from a stop and at hoisted passing paces is outstanding. Furthermore, on our drive course from Vancouver to Whistler Village, our long-wheelbase Navigator L took care of the winding mountain street with an assurance that may influence drivers to scrutinize the laws of material science. Body roll is very much overseen and even fitted with winter-accommodating Bridgestone Blizzak tires, as our analyzer seemed to be. The mammoth truck is very controllable. What makes the taking care of significantly harder to accept is that it doesn't come to the detriment of a genuinely extravagant ride. Continuously created, the Navigator coasts over street flaws notwithstanding the huge 22-inch wheels that are standard toll on every single Canadian Navigator. 21s are fitted to US base model Premier trim, 2WD adaptations. Those searching for a considerably creamier ride may get their desire if clues from Lincoln's group of an up-and-coming air suspension are to be accepted. Despite everything, we'd bet a sportier Range Rover will cut corners with better assurance. Regardless, expecting agile taking care of from a truck that is 18.5 feet long resembles sword battling with a lead pipe. Where the new Navigator truly emerges is in the level of smoothness and complexity it shows as it continues on ahead. It's inconceivably tranquil, with both street and wind clamor being practically wiped out, and to be honest, it's anything but difficult to overlook the Navigator is still actually a truck. The new 10-speed program is tuned uniquely in contrast to it isn't the Expedition, or, so far as that is concerned, the Escalade that it likewise shows up in, having been a joint wonder between both Ford and GM. What's more, in spite of such a significant number of gear teeth to look over, the transmission never is by all accounts befuddled about which is the best one for the job needing to be done, notwithstanding when ascending and down into the mountains at throughway speed. As smooth as the Navigator's outside may be, it's inside that Lincoln truly inspires. Stacked up with Lincoln's perfect position front seats, these warmed and cooled honored positions offer back rub works as well as 30-way movability. The second push travelers aren't much more awful off with control, warm Chiefs seats that overlay forward, enabling access to the 3-man third push seat. All seats are trimmed in top-notch calfskin and, as one would expect in a vehicle of this size, there's a lot of head and extra space all around. Longer wheelbase Navigator L models offer considerably more legroom and payload conveying capacity. Switchgear all looks and feels the part at a vehicle at this cost point. Both our Navigator and Navigator L test machines wore sticker prices north of $100,000 Canadian. The middle rear is canvassed in authentic wood with all boards cut from a similar tree. It clears up toward the dash that is featured by a 10-inch capacitive touchscreen tied into the most recent Lincoln Sync infotainment framework and a Revel sound framework. Illustrations are fresh, and the framework, packed with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, is quick and smooth in activity generally. All things considered, we would welcome some speedy access catches to change from nav to audio to apps, as opposed to requiring more perplexing excursions through the menu framework. 2 decades is quite a while, and honestly, every one of the machines in the full-measure extravagance SUV section have made some amazing progress since 1998. The Lincoln Navigator has expanded its complexity and portion importance in a way not seen since the Fresh Prince turned into the smooth activity star he is today. In the case of whisking dignitaries around town or families out to the slants, this new Navigator shows up for the undertaking.